Hey everybody, and welcome to Don't Copy That Floppy. I'm your host Lex.
I'm your other host, Dan. I just pulled my headphones off.
Oh no!
It's great. I need new headphones.
Yeah, those are some old looking headphones.
They're really janky and bad. They cost me $10.
Back in 1995.
Back in 1995 for my Walkman. We are your weekly video game news podcast here on Chipbit Radio at chipbit.net. Broadcast every week from 7 to 8 p.m. live. That's Eastern Time. You can find us on chipbit.net. You can also find us on iTunes, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and Steam. Where don't copy that floppy on all those places, except for Twitter, where we are at DCTF Podcast. Wow, we got a lot of stuff to talk about.
We got trailers, we got
casting announcements.
We got possible remakes of games, we got betas happening, we got
the results of betas that happened.
Yeah.
We got
game release dates.
A very exclusive story. PlayStation 4 has won the console war.
Oh yeah.
Xbox gives up.
Waves the white flag.
They gave up. That's how I'm going to choose to take that article. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of stuff. We got an announcement for a game's release date. This is very exciting, even though we have no idea what the game's about. But we'll get to that. I'm excited anyway. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about these trailers that came out first.
So two... It is two, right? There wasn't like a third one that I'm forgetting.
Not that I know of.
Okay.
There probably is. We'll find it later.
So we heard a while back that Ratchet and Clank was going to be getting an animated film.
I actually forgot about this until this trailer came out.
I think it had been in the back of my head because I'm not a huge Ratchet and Clank fan.
Neither am I. I've actually never played any of the games.
I've briefly played some of them, and they're fun. They're funny and they're fun little.
It's always a Jack and
adventure
Daxter
games.
man myself.
Well, yeah. If you're gonna go for that type of game, you're gonna go for the best.
I don't know. Ratchet and Clank might actually technically be a little better than Jack and Daxter. I don't know.
But
they have a special place in my heart.
Are we gonna talk about Spyro? Where's Spyro? Spyro up in here?
I'm talking about Spyro. You saw Spyro's character design for Skylanders, didn't you? They just repurposed him into a headliner for the first set of Skylanders figures. And they redesigned him, and he's hideous.
Oh, that's too bad.
Oh, he's so hideous looking compared to his old design. It's the worst.
But anyway, so yeah, Ratchet and Clank is getting a movie, and the trailer for it came out earlier this week. When did it go out? The 15th?
Yeah. So yeah, yesterday.
Yeah. Ooh.
So we just watched it. We hadn't watched it until right before the show. We were like, oh, we should watch this trailer before we talk about it.
It was fine.
It was fine.
There's nothing wrong with it. From cutscenes I remember of the Ratchet and Clank games, it looks like one of those.
Yeah. It just looks like an animated kids movie.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really have its own unique
feel or anything
to it, which surprised me. I expected it to feel more different, but I mean maybe it's mostly just the writing that's shown in the trailer.
It seems like a DreamWorks movie as opposed to a Pixar movie.
It seems a lot like a DreamWorks movie.
Yeah,
a really really bare bones. Just the basics DreamWorks animated movie.
Like that movie George Lucas just came out with recently.
Oh no! Strange Magic!
You know the name of it. Somebody saw Strange Magic.
I didn't see it.
Sure you didn't.
No. Don't tell everyone my secret.
I secretly love George Lucas.
It's my favorite movie of the year.
But no, yeah, so the Ratchet Clank thing...
Because Strange Magic... Mad Max Fury Road. Slightly edged out.
That list makes total sense to me.
Top tier work from good old Lucas.
Yep.
What part did he have in that movie? Was he just the director?
I think he just directed it.
Okay. But, yeah, I mean, I feel like kids will probably really like this movie, and if you're a really hardcore Ratchet and Clank fan, you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm not... because I haven't played a lot of the games, I don't know if the writing is like smarter than I'm giving it credit for.
From what I've seen of the games, I remember it being smarter than at least what's shown in this trailer.
So I'm wondering
I remember the comedy being a bit more clever.
Yeah, because also the way the trailer's edited, it's just like, here's a character who's going to become a hero.
It doesn't help that, the trailer is cut together and set up in a way that, like, it actually starts with a guy going, in a world. And, which I guess they're kind of doing as a joke, but
then it's not that
it came off pretty straight.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But yeah, all the trailer tells us is, here's the main character, he's going to be a hero, and he's in space, and they're fighting aliens.
He wants to be a hero. But at first he can't. But then he can.
He has to go through some trials and tribulations.
He has to rise to the occasion.
Yeah.
And just be a hero. It's like Luke Skywalker. He wanted to be a hero. He just bullseyed womp rats all day. Like, you can't be a hero. Then his aunt and uncle died in a horrible fiery explosion, and he was like, finally, I can be a hero.
That actually makes me think, I wonder how boring you can make really good movies look if you edit together trailers for them that are just, like, really generic.
Oh, man. Could we make Star Wars just look like a story about an old man and a little kid and, like, a boy walking around the desert?
And you just cut all of the jokes from the movie into the trailer?
Yeah.
Time for a wacky road trip movie.
With some robots.
And then Han Solo's like, always let the Wookiee win!
Yeah! Put a slide whistle sound effect in there. And so when Chewbacca puts his hands behind his head, you just put a fart sound effect.
But no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, if
you can color a movie very heavily by editing the trailer in certain ways.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, like, if the games have really good writing and the same writers that were on the games are on the movie, which I believe is the case.
And so maybe they're shooting for a demographic with this trailer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, right? They want those sort of, like, preteen kid demographic to go see the movie, but there might be more to it than that.
We want the Angry Birds audience.
Yeah, well, it's a big audience, alright?
It is.
People love Angry Birds. What about...
I can't blame anyone for targeting the Angry Birds audience.
What about the Star Wars Angry Birds audience? The biggest subset.
A horrible overlap. Bringing me great shame. This other trailer that came out is...
For a game.
But it's a live-action, quote-unquote, trailer for a game. So we have a video game movie... And then
that's CGI.
The CGI in a movie-like trailer for a video game.
Oh, man. So this is the same day, October 15th, as well. Fallout 4 got a live-action trailer.
Yeah.
And it's like a minute.
It's only like
a minute long. There isn't really much to it.
It's a little goofy. It's just a little goofy trailer. Nice music choice.
Great music choice. Yeah. But calling it a live-action trailer is extremely deceptive.
Yeah, most of it is CG.
Almost all of it. Like, the dog... is real, and the guy is real, but you only ever see the guy from the vantage point that you see him in the game.
And then he gets into power armor later in the trailer, and then he's just CG.
Yeah, because you're not.
At least I think he is.
It didn't even look like particularly good CG for that power armor.
No,
like I really wish they had made a real costume of the power armor.
Yeah,
it couldn't have been that hard.
It doesn't, and it looks off enough that there's no way it was like a real.
Prop. You know what actually strikes me most about this trailer is it seems cheap. Because you can tell that they just were like, they got the decent costume and the dog that looks like the dog in the game and a guy that looks like
a German Shepherd.
Yeah. And then they were like, we just gotta CG the rest of it.
Just do it.
Because that'll be cheaper.
Yeah. And it seems kind of cheap and it seems like just a little holdover of like, here you guys go, a little Fallout thing until the game comes out.
That's the other thing. It's supposed to hype us, I guess.
Comes out on November 10th.
But like...
Close. Everyone's already hyped up.
Yeah, this couldn't have made me more hyped. Like, it didn't make me less hyped, but it didn't make me more excited.
This trailer left my hype exactly where it was. And all the praise I'm seeing for this trailer, everyone was like, oh, it sets the tone for the game so well. And I mean, I guess it does, but it's the same tone that every other Fallout game is.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's like every single other Fallout game. It's a goofy 1950s-esque post-apocalyptic wasteland game.
Yep. That's all of them.
That's it.
That's how they all are.
It's good. It's a fun setting. I like it. But you don't need, like, we all know that's what it was going to be.
Yeah.
We knew it was what it was going to be as soon as we got Fallout Shelter and like the official announcement.
Do you think that this trailer was released to try and be like, hey, people that haven't been following the hype, like people that might not be our regular audience, check out this. You should buy this game.
You mean filthy casuals?
Angry Birds players. Star Wars Angry Birds players. But no, because maybe that was their thought process with it, but I don't even think that it hits that demographic correctly, because it doesn't actually tell you enough about the game.
It's just like, here's the thing. Watch Blue Man walk around.
So if you've seen the gameplay footage of Fallout 4 already, you see this trailer, and you're like, oh, I get it. But if you haven't, you're like,
what the hell is this?
By it. Yeah.
Oh god, horrible nuclear explosion right at the beginning? That's awful.
Yeah.
Why is this blue suit man just walking around with a dog now? I don't understand.
Why did he come out from behind a giant gear?
Doesn't make any sense. This game doesn't make any sense. This movie's weird.
It's a weird movie.
It's a weird movie.
Is George Lucas making this?
Speaking of George Lucas and movies and acting.
Oh yeah, this does segue really nicely.
Yeah. Star Citizen, which looks like a cool game, has revealed a voice cast, or at very least a partial voice cast.
Yeah.
Which includes Squadron 42. Who is Squadron? Is Squadron 42 something in the game?
I think that's the campaign.
Okay, that would make sense. Because they announced a ton of people who are going to be voicing characters, which includes the likes of Mark Hamill, Gary Oldman, Gillian Anderson,
Andy Serkis.
I don't recognize most of these other names.
Jack Houston, I know who he is.
John Rhys Davies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess the most important two names on this are Mark Hamill and John Rhys Davies, because they're the Wing Commander guys.
Yeah.
So they gotta be in this.
And Gary Oldman, because he's a big famous guy.
Well, no, I just meant because Star Citizen is, like, Wing Commander.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But then the other people are, like, are Hollywood actors that we mostly expect from movies, but not from games like this.
Yeah.
So there was some behind the scenes footage or photos, I can't remember which, I was looking at it, I don't remember now. I think it was footage. And they showed a bunch of these actors in mocap stuff, which looks kind of funny. Just kind of funny to look at.
Yeah.
And it was in when did this happen? This was, October 11th is when my story is from. But they did a 2-hour presentation, and most of it was gameplay, I guess, but then they also showed some behind-the-scenes stuff, and then they showed a cinematic trailer that just has Gary Oldman in it, talking in front of, like, a Senate, being like, oh, we gotta fight this space war. Yeah, space bad guys.
We gotta save the space.
Yeah.
All these space bad guys and space pirates.
Or mankind will be destroyed.
They're committing space crime.
Yeah. Space Precinct. If only this was Space Precinct, the game. Then it would truly be worthy of my attention.
The game still looks really cool.
Oh, it does look really cool. And it was, what was it? It was one of the biggest Kickstarted games ever. Yeah. It was like millions and millions of dollars. I can't remember how much. And I know it says it somewhere in this article. I can't find it.
Yeah.
92 million. That's a lot.
Yep. They're expecting the total to reach 100 million by the end of 2015.
So,
when is the game coming out?
Who knows? But, I mean, they did show a lot of gameplay.
And the fact that they have all these voice actors doing stuff must mean that they're getting close to the point.
Yeah, just because, like, you don't make that kind of investment for voice actors if your game's not coming out.
Mark Hamill, Gary Oldman, Andy Serkis, etc.
Yeah.
If your game's not coming out.
You don't do that. Although, let me say one thing. If this game does never end up coming out, it'll be one of the best, like, games that never was stories.
Oh, it'll be the game that never was story.
Yeah.
Told and retold for generations. Alongside the Legend of Conan.
And Silent Hills.
And Silent Hills.
Which we're going to talk about later in the show.
Because who doesn't want to hear more about how bullshit it was that game got canceled?
You thought your tears had dried, but...
You thought it was over, but no. People keep wanting to bring it up.
We're going to rub some more salt in that wound. But no, so for Star Citizen, one of the only things that I'm really disappointed by, because the gameplay looks really nice.
Yeah.
The trailer of Gary Oldman talking, I don't think that looks very good.
I have not actually watched that portion of this.
Well, here, look at the screenshot of it.
He looks a little off.
Yeah, the skin tone seems very low res.
I mean, they're not working with like Until Dawn mocap quality here.
But that's the thing.
And in such a huge game.
Shouldn't they be?
Maybe.
Because that's the scale of this game.
But do you want... I mean, budget's gotta go somewhere. And I'm guessing that all this other stuff costs a whole oodles of money.
Well, probably.
So, like, you gotta skip... Maybe they skimped on their mocap.
It might have.
I gotta say, if something in the game has to be subpar, I would prefer that it's, like...
The mocap.
The mocap and, like, the character models.
Yeah.
Because they look fine. I agree, it doesn't look spectacular, but it looks fine. It looks like Gary Oldman.
It does look like Gary Oldman.
It looks like Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg.
If only that's what he looked like in this game, like with that outfit.
So good.
That'd
With the plastic thing on his head.
Oh,
look at Run and Jump Man. Look at him go.
This gameplay's amazing. There's running and jumping.
There's running in him, and you can hang out with Ant-Man on your spaceship.
This game is truly revolutionary.
The guy looks so much like the new Ant-Man, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's weird.
I hope Paul Rudd's in this game.
They could afford him. They afford all these other people.
He should voice an energy being that you encounter. Star Trek style. You need to negotiate with him.
Yeah.
He's just a jerk.
I really dig him that they have Gillian Anderson in this. Because X-Files is great.
Yeah, man. Who doesn't love the X-Files? It's spooky. So spooky. I haven't actually seen that many X-Files episodes. I've only seen the really spooky ones. Because everyone was like, these ones are really spooky, you should watch them. I got spooked.
That's like with me and Doctor Who. I've mostly seen the spooky Doctor Who
People
episodes.
just tell you to watch this, like the Crying Weeping Angels and stuff. That one. Yeah, I've seen that one. So Bandai Namco is killing off one of its free-to-play games.
Oh no.
What free-to-play games does Bandai Namco have, you ask? Well, they happen to have a fighting game, a 2-on-2 PC fighting game, made by the folks behind Tekken and Soul Calibur, called Rise of Incarnates. It's being shut down. I remember hearing about Rise of Incarnates last year when it was announced, and then hearing nothing else about it. I thought this game just never came out. So, I guess I'm not surprised it's being shut down, because I didn't even know it existed. Like, did anyone play it? Is this saddening to anyone?
It was released on July 1st.
Yeah, it's like shutting down really fast. So it makes, like I said, like, did anyone play it?
I'm trying to figure out what kind of game this is, because I have no idea what it is.
It's a multiplayer fighting thing.
Oh, okay, multiplayer free-to-play fighting video game.
Yeah. It's for No, Soul Calibur Lost Swords is for PS3.
Oh my gosh, it's developed by the same team that made Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme Versus.
Oh, but that game's cool.
And I guess also Tekken, but who cares about that?
Tekken. Whatever. Never liked Tekken. My friend beat me at it every day. Plays cheap characters.
I had these really weird experiences in college where a lot of my friends that I lived with loved playing Street Fighter, like the newest Street Fighter.
Well, Street Fighter's way better than Tekken, so you made out okay there.
Yeah. And they had like the fighting sticks that look like the top of like an arcade cabinet.
Yeah.
And they would always be like, "Oh, Lex, you should play." And I'm like, "Dude, all I see is you guys practicing day and night, getting your frame rate
to destroy me."
Yeah, there's like I can't even play normal fighting games, much less one as technically complicated as Street Fighter.
I'm bad at fighting games well.
And then they kept being like, "No, you practice, you'll get good." And I'm like, I'm just not willing to put that time and effort in.
I've been playing Guilty Gear again, the new Guilty Gear. I'm bad at it, but I'm trying to get a little better at it. But yeah, like, learning all that stuff is super complicated.
And if that's what you want to do, I got no problem with it. But
yeah, I just want to know all my special moves. What are all my special moves?
I just want to Hadouken.
And do Hadoukens.
That's all I want to do. So, you see, we already stopped talking about Rise of Incarnates because no one cares about Rise of Incarnates.
Rise of Incarnates, we hardly knew ye. We didn't know ye at all, really.
No, I don't think many people did. So the game was pulled October 14th from Steam, and its servers will be officially shut down December 15th. So don't worry, any of you hardcore, loyal Rise of Incarnates players, you've still got a couple months to enjoy it as much as
Get in
anyone
there.
could. Woohoo.
Okay. Valve talking about the Steam box.
Whoa.
Steam controller, actually.
Oh, okay. I was going to say
Yeah.
Steambox, you mean gaming PCs?
Yes. No, they're talking about the Steam controller. It's coming to retail November 10th.
The funny story about that. The other day, I went to buy one because I was like, "Oh, I finally have money to buy one." Because I assumed it had come out like 2 months ago. I was like, "Oh, this hasn't come out yet."
Well, you'll be interested to know, Lex, that the version you buy on November 10th will not be the final version of the controller.
What?
Valve is going to continue to think about how to redesign their peripheral, even after its release. They have long-term plans for the Steam controller. They want to release CAD files for how these controllers are put together and figure out and let the community figure out how to modify it. So they're encouraging people to mod their controllers.
And knowing the Steam community, they will modify it.
They will modify it. They said, Eric Johnson, who's the designer, said that it is in our DNA to think of how customers can create value for other customers. I mean, that's Valve's whole thing at this point. With the way Steam took off and everything, is they give everyone the tools to make a cooler gaming experience for everybody else. And they always kind of have, because they released the Source engine to everybody, and people have done all sorts of stuff with that. And then the Steam having the workshop communities for modding of games and everything, it's all there. So this just continues that trend.
I really hope that someone mods it not in terms of a software sense, but in terms of a hardware sense, so they just strap a cup holder to it or something.
Oh, you know it. Well,
Steam said I could mod this.
I put a cup holder on it.
Cup holder on it.
It's also got a Swiss Army knife in the D-pad. Be careful with that.
Yeah, don't cut yourself.
Don't cut yourself.
The knife's not very sharp, but you could open a package with it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's cool though. This is the first time I think we've seen Valve put out something where they're encouraging modding of hardware. Everything they've put out, because they haven't started putting out some hardware really till very recently. So it's cool to see them follow suit, because all of their software was so moddable, and they encourage people to mod it so much that I like that they're doing it with hardware too. Even if it's just controllers, it'd be fun to see what people will do with it.
So does this mean I should hold off on buying one because they might make a better version of it?
I mean, maybe.
I don't know how quickly they'd make it. See, we know that
probably, it would still probably be a year later.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, because we know with most console generation cycles.
Yeah.
They will at some point in the cycle usually come out with an updated version of the controller.
Yeah.
But the assumption is that the one that you get on launch is one that's basically the final version.
Johnson says in his article that the future of the Steam controller is closely tied to the PC. So at the point where there's a product or technology or something else that reaches that point where they need to release a new controller so that the customers can experience something, that's when they'll release a new controller.
You know what that actually sounds like to me, or what I think of when I hear that, is VR.
Yeah.
And how their needs for a controller would actually legitimately, significantly change if VR takes off.
Absolutely.
The way people are hoping it will.
Yeah.
I'm still very excited to get one of these in November.
Yeah, totally. Mr. Del Toro. That is Guillermo del Toro.
Maker of such fine films as Kronos. That's true, that wasn't a lie.
I know.
You hate that movie.
This isn't what I was expecting to say. We've talked a lot about Mr. Del Toro in relation to PT and Silent Hills. And this guy, every couple weeks, just comes out and says more about it.
And it's always sad every time.
And this time saying, finally, I wonder if he had a non-disclosure agreement or something that lapsed, or if he just finally decided he doesn't care anymore.
Or maybe just a weird guy.
Maybe he's just a weird guy.
It does seem like he could just be a weird guy.
He is a weird guy.
Yeah.
And that's why we like him. He has said, and I quote, that the cancellation of Silent Hills makes no fucking sense at all.
Direct quote.
Direct quote from Mr. Del Toro. He says, the thing with Kojima and Silent Hills is that I thought we'd do a really remarkable game and really go for the jugular. He went on to cite games like The Last of Us and some other design ideas he planned for it, some of which we saw in the form of PT. And he chalked up the cancellation to Konami's random business decisions and reiterated that it makes no sense that the game is not happening. So it sounds to me like they didn't give him any legitimate explanation.
They just called him and were like, hey, you know that project you're working on?
You're
well,
not.
we canceled it.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Also, Kojima's fired.
Yeah.
You'll never see him again.
You'll never
True
see
love.
We're gonna keep him locked away in a tower. You'll never get to spend time with him again.
You can take your spyglass and see his drive jacket from afar.
I was gonna say the drive jacket. Oh, man.
Oh, Mr. Kojima. Kojima-san.
But no, to Del Toro, I have to say, like, it's not... I mean, I understand maybe they didn't give you any explanation, and that's obviously douchey of them.
Yeah.
But it's not really a mystery as to why they did this. And we've discussed it on past episodes when we discussed the cancellation.
It's all the stuff with Kojima.
It's the stuff with Kojima, and it's the fact that they're moving away from games in general.
The Silent Hill Pachinko game.
Yeah, because they want to make pachinko games, because that makes them way more money.
Yeah, because Japan cannot get enough pachinko.
And in that way, it's a solid business decision. It doesn't make it not douchey, but it's still a solid business decision.
It's a shame. It's a shame to see it going this way. And also, you know, at this point, the next they're going to keep making Metal Gear games.
Metal Gear Pachinko games.
Without Kojima, and it's probably going to be a Pachinko game.
Oh, yeah.
Metal Gear Solid 6.
Pachinko.
Balls of the Patriots. Pachinko balls. I'm not making a dirty joke. Pachinko
no fucking
balls.
sense at all.
No fucking sense at all. A weapon to surpass Metal Gear. Pachinko. They'll never stop playing. When everybody can't stop playing Pachinko, nuclear war will cease. It's the ultimate deterrent.
Can I just say I really wish that Guillermo del Toro had given that quote in a live interview rather than a text, like a written interview, so that we could have taken the soundbite of just Guillermo del Toro saying, makes no fucking sense at all.
Yeah, so we could use it in future episodes.
All the time.
Oh, that'd be wonderful.
This heavy accent.
Maybe we can send him a tweet and ask him, Mr. Del Toro, could you please record yourself saying it makes no fucking sense at all?
Just make a Vine.
Just make a Vine or something so we can get an audio bite.
That's all we want.
He might do it. He's a weird guy.
He's a pretty weird guy.
Star Wars Battlefront beta.
Oh,
9 million people played it.
People loved it.
People loved it.
They loved everything.
People loved the beta, except what they didn't love about the beta was getting their asses kicked as the rebels on Hoth.
Damn.
Which, it's funny, because I didn't see all the complaints about it. I didn't see how prevalent these complaints about the balancing were until after I stopped playing the beta.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was playing it, I won Hoth 3 times as the rebels.
Because you're just that good.
I'm just that cool, I guess. I smoked those AT-ATs. It was like, ba-bam, ba-bam, they didn't know what was going on. Empire Schmempire, man. Down my face. But, apparently, though, these balance issues were so bad that the developer, like, DICE has said, like, okay, we get it, you guys. It's balanced. It's a huge bias for the Empire on Hoth. We'll fix it.
I mean, that's the funny thing is, like, you saw the movie.
That's kind of part of it.
The Empire had overwhelming force in the movie, and that's why they immediately won the battle.
Yeah, the rebels got wrecked.
So when you try and faithfully recreate the battle,
the rebels are going to get wrecked.
They're going to get wrecked. So you could tell that DICE was just like, how do we design this?
And make it feel like the
movie, and yet have the rebels have a fighting chance.
It's rough.
And you could tell that they tried, but they didn't quite get there, I guess.
I can think of a couple things they can do off the top of my head. The biggest one being to stop Imperial players from using any of the gun emplacements. Because the rebels have all these trenches and like gun turrets. You know the goofy little gun turrets they have in the movies? Like the satellite dish ones and stuff.
That one was great.
It was the best. They're all there on the Hoth map, but anyone can use them. So I did see in a lot of games, and I did myself in a lot of games, as the Empire, hop into these turrets and turn them around and just shoot rebels with them.
That's actually an interesting point. You don't even need to make it so that other people can't use them. You just have to not give them a 360-degree turning arc.
That's also an option. Yeah, so you can only point them towards the side that the Empire's advancing from.
Yeah.
Because the Empire, the spawn points move up as the match goes on Hoth, as like the AT-ATs get closer to the shield generator. So there's definitely stuff they can do. Another thing I thought of is that they could make the snow speeders available earlier, because as of right now, snow speeders only show up in the final phase of the fight. And obviously you can use the little tow cables to do insta-kills on AT-ATs if you're, like, good at it. It's tricky to do in this game. Your timing has to be really good. So if they made, like, the snow speeders available, like, one phase earlier than that might also be a nice balancing factor, because it would mean the Empire has to worry about them more early, and that the Rebels have a better way of fighting back.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. We'll see what they do. In other news, well, still Star Wars news, I guess, the game is not going to have dedicated voice chat. You're going to have to use...
This is weird.
It is kind of weird. You're going to... I mean, for a PC, that's normal at this point. But on consoles, it's a little bizarre that they're just going to make you use party chat through PlayStation Network or Xbox Live. I can say I personally don't care, because I'm not going to use chat anyway.
Yeah.
Unless I'm, like, specifically with one of my friends.
It just seems like such an easy feature
and
to
also
throw in.
For EA, with all of these online games, they usually have dedicated voice chat.
And because Battlefront, I mean, you're going to be able to play it offline, but primarily people are going to be playing this online.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just weird that they're not doing that. One of the articles I was reading speculated that maybe it's because they're trying to meet their deadline, and EA is saying, cut whatever
doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, whatever doesn't need to be there. So the devs are like, well, voice chat not as important. Plus, like, I guess they could add that in an update further down the line.
They absolutely could.
Yeah, and in that way also, like, I'm kind of okay with that. Because if that's the case, then they're clearly concentrating on stuff that is more important.
Making sure the game's good. Well, especially now,
making sure those turrets don't have that.
Make sure those turrets
can't turn.
Careful with those turrets, Rebels. Don't drop those turrets. Don't drop that ATST. Star Wars Battlefront. Last week we talked about how they said it's not going to have microtransactions, which is good news. This week we find out that it is going to have 4 $15 expansions.
It's getting a season pass because everything's got to have a season pass.
Everything's got to have a season pass, especially the Batman.
At least with this thing's season pass, you save money.
Yes. The Batman one you do not. Well, it's weird. You get... Although I guess the Ultimate Edition comes with, like, more stuff. There's an Ultimate Edition of the game that's $120.
Okay.
And I think it comes with some other stuff, but for a second I thought it was... You just get the season pass, but that'd be stupid, because then you're not saving any money, and you should just buy the season pass separately.
Maybe you get a nice art book with the Ultimate Edition.
Who knows? Steelbook case.
Whoa.
The most valuable of prizes. But this new content is going to, I'm assuming, be maps. And then probably more customization options for your character.
Probably, yeah.
Probably more items and cosmetic stuff, but also weapons and abilities. I'm wondering not only what other maps they plan on adding, but also if they plan on bringing back the prequel movie stuff. Because as of right now, the game only has the Empire and the Rebellion as, like, the playable factions. But the old games also had the CIS, Trade Federation guys, and the Republic. And they were, like, different. They had different units and different abilities and stuff. So I'm wondering if one of these expansions is going to be a little bit bigger and add that faction back in, along with maps based on that stuff, like Geonosis and Naboo and junk like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that I really liked... But this game doesn't do space battles. But I remember the thing that I liked most about the CIS and Republic stuff was the space battles they had, because the ships... There were just more and different kinds of ships.
And they were interesting. They were, like, they felt a lot different. You
Yeah.
weren't just in like a TIE Fighter or an X-Wing. They were
Yeah.
these like weird, funky ships. Yeah, the droids had this one that looked like a Cadillac that I really liked.
They did. That was
Yeah,
great.
it was the sweet silver space Cadillac. Oh, so good.
Because droids know how it's done.
And I mean, this game does have a like a dogfight mode, like a starship battle mode.
Oh, I thought it didn't.
You're not. I don't know if you're in space. I think you're technically like in atmosphere, but it's
Okay.
strictly like it is a dogfighting thing.
Okay.
Where you're just in ships fighting each other, and you get hero ships like Millennium Falcon and stuff.
Oh, also, that's something they could be adding in these expansion packs. Just space battles.
Yeah, that would be cool too.
And that would definitely be worth it. So, I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
Did you say the expansion packs were $15 each?
I'm assuming because the season pass is $50, and usually the way those are is you save like $10.
Oh, okay.
And they said 4 expansions, so I'm assuming would be $60 separately. And 15 was like the go-to price for most of like Call of Duty's expansions and stuff like that too. So
I think that's a fair
Battlefield.
Fair
So I'm spitballing it, but I think that's probably what it's going to be. Also, they unveiled what 3 of the other modes are. There's Cargo, which is capture the flag. There's Hero Hunt, where one person plays a hero character and fights solo against a team of 7 other players.
That sounds fun.
That would be cool. And Droid Run, in which players battle to capture the walking gonk power droids in 6v6
I'm
matches.
so glad that gonks are going to be
amazing. They just gonk around the map and you have to catch them.
Did I ever tell you about how my boss is positive that he invented the name Gonk for the Star Wars droid?
Really?
Yeah.
But he didn't, though.
No, well, his argument almost makes sense.
Okay.
Because, he's in his 40s. So he was using the internet around the inception of the internet when it was mostly just message boards. And he was on a bunch of Star Wars message boards, like some of the first ones. And they were talking about the different droids, and there wasn't a name for those.
Oh.
But he was like, they should be called Gonk, because that's the sound they make.
And George Lucas would do it.
George Lucas would do that.
Would.
Strange magic!
I hope that one of the Battlefront expansions is about strange magic.
I hope so too. But no, there's something serious I was going to say with this. And I can't remember what it was. Oh, the Hero Hunt thing is screaming to be set during the prequel movies. During Order
66.
Yeah.
Yeah, execute it.
Yeah, someone just playing as a Jedi and then a bunch of people playing
Republic
as
troopers
troopers.
get to blast them.
Oh, you could play as like the Commando troopers, like in Clone Wars animated
the
series.
Best.
Which is not canon anymore, which really bums me out.
It wasn't even canon anymore before.
Oh yeah, it was never really canon,
was it? It was canon until George Lucas had a hand in making the CGI Clone Wars show.
Yeah.
And then they decanonized it, like, right away. Which sucks because it's awesome.
It's so much better than,
so good!
anything else that came out of the prequel generation of Star Wars movies.
Well, we're on a brief Star Wars tangent. I started watching that Star Wars Rebels show. The new CG one. That's a good show.
Oh, that's good.
It's really good. It's a lot better than the Clone Wars one. Because the Clone Wars one would have a good episode once in a blue moon. But this one, I watched the first 4 episodes. It's solid.
Cool.
I like it a lot. So if you want a cool Star Warsy thing to watch, check that out. We're done talking about Star Wars.
Talk about horror movies.
Talk about horror movie games. Until Dawn. In an announcement surprising nobody, Supermassive Games executive producer Pete Samuels said that Until Dawn sales have surpassed expectations.
Yay!
It sold super well. Retail outlets were running out of stock shortly following release, so they are having a hard time keeping it on the shelves. And he says that, I think, and I quote, "I think you should expect the team to build on what we've done with Until Dawn, whether it's in horror or other genres." And that obviously a sequel in the traditional sense isn't really possible, because they don't want to say there's a canon ending to Until Dawn.
Yeah.
They want the ending to be whatever you get playing it. Which I like. That they're considering Until Dawn 2 as the next project for them, and investigated ways they could do it, but it's a little early to be really discussing that. I, for one, hope that they try and branch out into some other genre. A lot of people have been saying either sci-fi or a like murder mystery kind of gritty detective story.
Well, I mean, as this article states, Until Dawn is the cabin in the woods horror movie type.
Yeah, where it's
horror
it's a
movie.
mashup of all sorts of horror movie tropes and plot lines. Like, I mean, how much do you know about the story?
Not a whole lot.
Okay, there's a lot going on in it.
But I thought it was primarily slasher stuff.
Yeah,
There's
a lot going on.
Okay, because I was going to say, even within horror, there's plenty of other subgenres you can focus on.
They actually tackle quite a bit in one go in this game. You would be surprised. You watch yourself a playthrough of this game at some point, because you'll enjoy it.
One of the things one of my friends was telling me that I actually think would be a really interesting idea is if they take the route that American Horror Story, the TV show, does.
I have not yet watched it.
I have watched random things of it, and I'm not super into it. But the idea that the way they do it is each season is self-contained, is set in a completely different place, and usually a different time period.
Storyline.
Yeah, but they use the same actors, but those actors are playing different characters.
That's interesting.
And then they'll bring on new ones and take away some old ones every once in a while.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, that would be cool, because then if you could get all of the same mocap actors back, but then have them play different characters.
Yes, that'd be interesting.
That would be really interesting.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that. That would be weird.
It would be weird.
It'd be super weird to have a totally different game genre, but the same actors doing all of it.
I think it would be cool.
That could be really cool. Get those actors to show some range.
Hayden Panettiere.
Pantana Man.
Pancake. and the guy from Mr. Robot.
Anakin Skywalker's wife. Padma May. Panda Bear.
But yeah,
bring it back to Star Wars.
One of the other things that I was watching a YouTube video on this, and they were like,
"Bring back Peter. Whatever they do for the next game, bring back Peter Stormare."
Oh, definitely.
I don't care what you have to do to get him into your next game. Supermassive. He was a highlight. He was fantastic.
Just like he's the highlight of everything he said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's the best part of that Constantine movie by a long
shot.
Oh,
definitely. And he has like one scene.
But he's amazing.
And he just dominates.
He wrecks it. Like...
But, okay, so anyway.
He moves that movie up from like a 3 to like a solid 7 in that one scene.
Oh gosh, now I can't remember what I was going to say. Yeah, the YouTube video I was watching on this news announcement, it was funny because they were like, the host was like, maybe they could try a different strategy with the second game, like marketing it. And I was like, oh yeah, that's true, because the first game, it had some highlights at E3.
It didn't get overall, any big marketing push.
Yeah, it didn't get a lot of press.
Which, I mean, it's all the better that it did so well. In spite of that.
That's really a testament to how great the game is.
Yeah, that it's actually good enough that people played it and liked it enough to spread it around.
And because it was an exclusive, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know this for a fact, they must have gotten a huge push from the Let's Play community.
Oh, they probably did.
Because everyone did LPs of this game. My girlfriend and I bought it because we started watching an LP of it, and like within an hour we're like, no, we want to play this. Like, I don't want to watch this and get spoiled. I want to play the game. And I bet we're not the only people who did that. So I think this is actually a good example of the Let's Play community really helping a game's sales as well. So good job, Let's Players. You did it.
Markiplier.
I don't know. PewDiePie, please go out with me. Firewatch. Here's a game that nobody knows what it is yet.
It's Wyoming.
It's Wyoming the game.
So from what we know about the plot of this game, is it set during the 70s or the 80s?
Yes.
In Wyoming after or before some giant forest fire that happened then? In real life?
Surrounding that event, and you play as a guy...
A park ranger.
Park ranger. Are you actually a park ranger, or are you like a volunteer guy?
You might be I think you actually are a park ranger, but the idea is that
you're at a Firewatch station.
Yeah, you're in your Firewatch station, your little tower, and it's in the middle of this, giant park. There's nobody else around for miles. and you're in radio contact with
a woman at another station.
And you go and explore the wilderness, and you're trying to solve some sort of mystery, and like weird stuff starts happening.
Yeah.
And there's some mind fuckery going on.
They're being very cryptic about it.
Oh, extremely, yeah.
But the trailers have all been really well done so far, at least. And the game has a very interesting art style to it. It's sort of cel-shaded. I mean, I guess it's very lightly cel-shaded.
It's definitely got sort of that indie feel, right?
Yeah. It's really pretty, though. And I mean, I'm assuming that the developer is purposefully keeping us in the dark about a lot of stuff. But the game is set to be released February 9th.
Yeah, February 9th. Which is, I mean, it's a little ways away, but...
Yeah.
But I'm excited.
I am intrigued. I was intrigued after I saw the first trailer.
Because nothing's not intriguing about Wyoming.
Well said. Words to live by.
And national parks.
National parks.
In the past, but not the really far past. Yeah. Technology is still mostly the same, but it's not present day.
I hope that you get sent to the far-flung future of 1994 in this game.
So good.
Megatron, you've been sent to the future. What? The future? Yes, the terrifying future of 1997. Oh no, Megatron! How will you get back from 1997? Humble Bundle, speaking of indie games, has laid off 12 employees.
Which at first you're thinking, whatever, 12 employees.
But that is 20% of their whole staff.
Because they have a really small staff.
Yes, they do. This is an article from Polygon on October 12th. The company's CEO said that the layoffs reflect an overly eager expansion. So, the cuts affected various departments and took place late last week, according to someone who preferred to remain anonymous. And job losses were localized in the creative engineering, business development, and communications departments. So a little bit from everything. This is a shame because they got strong revenue and their community has raised $65 million for charity to date. But they decided that their hiring in the past, so probably for a little while now, was too ambitious and that they needed to make a call as far as who to keep. And how many people to keep. So yeah, it's a shame. I'm glad that they're staying a thing, even if they had to lay some people off. Like, it's nice that this is an announcement that, like, we did it, we went bankrupt, we're closing, oh god.
I only want to hear that from one studio. Studio that makes Angry Birds.
Will never happen.
It will.
We're drowning in it.
When they're gonna choke on that money. They're gonna actually drown on that money.
When that movie comes out.
Oh no.
Can't wait for that trailer.
Ugh.
It'll surpass all expectations.
Ugh.
As many disgusted noises as we can muster. So yeah, they've sold, like, the Humble Bundles, have been selling really well. Humble Indie Bundle 15 has sold 137,000. And the last two sold more than 160,000. But according to a list on Wikipedia, the sales have been steadily diminishing. In September 2013, Humble Indie Bundle 9 sold 713,000. They generally sold more than 300,000 each, stretching back to, like, their earliest packages.
Well, let me tell you something. I've bought several of them, but I get the emails.
Yeah.
And as of late, their game selections have been really boring.
So you think that it's
I think
games that are either uninteresting or that a lot of people have already? Or...
Yeah, I think they just need some cool indie games to come out and to get those when they're still, like, fresh. Like that game about Wyoming. Get that one.
Get that one. Grab it. Because yeah, I think I actually saw the most recent one's game list, and I was not, like, enthralled by it.
That we reported
they're doing a
ago
subscription service
with the crates.
Yes.
So it's just weird that this news would come on the heels of that.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll see.
But I hope that they're able to bounce back. Because
hopefully.
I love the thing they do mostly on principle. Like, I mean, I bought several of them, as I've said.
Yeah.
But the whole idea with the charities and percentages to different charities is just amazing.
And exposure for indie developers as well. It's a really good idea.
So I just want them to keep doing that.
Definitely.
But
I'm gonna say this Xbox story for last.
Okay.
Square Enix will be at Paris Games Week, which is happening at the end of the month, October 28th to November 1st. Yes. And Square Enix, they're going to have a big ol' presence there alongside Sony. Sony's going to have a PlayStation press conference on October 27th. But specifically, Square Enix is going to be talking a lot about Final Fantasy 15. Yay!
We can finally see if Cindy is still too sexy or not. Then the question will finally be answered.
Finally. And we will also be finally seeing actual something of Nier 2.
Oh yeah, because when they announced that, they
It was
just...
all concept art.
Yeah, it was just all
Concept art and a list of names. But the list of names sold me on the game.
Oh, because it was the people who were working on it, right?
Yeah, it's the same. It's the creator, director, writer guy of Nier, the old game, and all the Drakengard stuff. It's just weird and crazy.
Okay.
It's I can't remember the composer, but it's a really awesome composer. It's like the team at Platinum Games doing the gameplay. Like, it's absurd.
Nice.
Some guy who's part of... No, Metroid was that other game. It's someone who was a part of, like, a really big, great franchise who's just, like, tacked onto the side of this.
Oh, yeah, no, I remember that.
And I can't remember what it was. But it's got a ridiculous amount of talent being put into it, which makes me super excited, because the biggest problem those games always had is their gameplay was kind of... But Platinum, they're doing it.
They
Transformers Devastation. Game's supposed to be pretty radical. Watch some
radical.
gameplay. I'm gonna pick it up at some point.
Pretty Reaganomic.
That is the era it evokes.
Yes.
So yeah, that's very cool. They're also going to be showing Deus Ex Mankind Divided. They're going to be showing off some of Hitman. So we got a whole bunch of stuff to see. The temporary name of Nier New Project. Yeah.
Alright.
Oh, the producer for it is the Dragon Quest X producer.
Oh.
Yeah. Cool.
Oh, that reminds me. I just, I'm going to talk to you about it after the show, but I just started playing Dragon Quest VI today.
I have never finished a Dragon Quest. I've started 2. Nintendo. Nintendo is going into mobile games, as we know. Nintendo announced Pokemon Go.
It's going to revolutionize
It might revolutionize stuff. We'll hope that it revolutionizes stuff.
Revolutionize the way you go grocery shopping.
Yes.
This is a conversation I had with my coworker the other day about Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
How he was like, you're going to go grocery shopping, and then you're going to be like, oh, everybody here has Pokemon Go. And then it's going to take you like 5 hours to grocery shop because you're going to have to stop and battle everybody. And then there's going to be like a Rattata or something, some Pokemon
in the melons.
Yeah, or like an Abra by the seafood, and you're just like, Abra, get over here, and then you're trying to catch it, and the guy at the seafood counter is like, hey, can I help you with something? And you're like, shut up.
I'm trying to catch an Abra.
Yeah,
I'm gonna teleport away.
He's teleporting away.
You just gotta throw a Pokeball and pray. That's all you can do. Pokemon Go's coming out. In addition to that information, we have learned that Google, Nintendo, and the Pokemon Company have invested $20 million in the developer.
Now, Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, we expected this.
Yes.
I mean, if they didn't invest money, that would be kind of weird.
Also Google, though.
But Google, that's what interests
Google
me.
Maps.
Because of Google Maps.
Google Maps.
And because of that other game that company made.
Yes.
That you did utilize stuff.
Yes.
Maps.
Can't remember what it's called.
Whatever it was.
The company's called Niantic Labs. Ingress.
Ingress.
It's right here. Yes.
It's in the article because they don't expect anyone to remember the name of it.
Yeah. So yeah, they've given them $20 million as an upfront investment, and these three companies will provide an additional $10 million upon achieving certain milestones at Niantic with developing the game. This is an absurd amount of money for a mobile game.
Yeah. I mean, granted, AAA titles get like 10 times this amount, but yeah, mobile games typically don't get anywhere near this amount of money.
Yeah. This game better be good.
I think it's gotta be. I mean, I think that the fact that you've got the powerhouses of Nintendo and Google, which is such an interesting pairing, both having sort of a hand in this, makes me very hopeful.
Yeah. We will see.
Oh, because it's going to be on Android devices. Duh. I don't know why I didn't think of that before. That's why Google's so interested. Okay.
Google probably just likes Pokemon.
Well, who doesn't? I mean, Google did do that thing where you can find Pokemon at April Fool's Day thing.
Biggest story of the week, which actually broke last Friday, but we didn't catch it.
Yeah, I didn't catch it at all.
Even though it was at 1 p.m. apparently on Polygon. Phil Spencer admitted defeat.
He gave up.
He didn't really admit defeat, but he kind of admitted defeat. Phil Spencer was interviewed at the 2015 GeekWire Summit, which I've never actually heard of. He was interviewed by co-founder Todd Bishop.
Co-founder of GeekWire. Everyone knows GeekWire.
And this guy, who was that?
I bumped one of your weights.
Oh, my super burly big man weights.
Yeah.
They make me strong. This guy did not pull his punches with the interview. He asked a lot of very direct questions, like, a lot of your loyal customers skewered you, came after you for limiting the ability to play used games, for always online features, and you reversed course. This was the environment you came into as being head of Xbox. Have you recovered from these early missteps, and what have you learned? So Spencer kind of at first was a little defensive, and then he started to share more details of what it's been like helming everything for the last 18 months. And then it gets into the subject of PlayStation 4, and how Spencer says, they've been having like incredible success that they've earned. And how he wants to, as a result, have more impact focusing on his own product. Doesn't want to talk about competition. And people will say, well, you're losing, so of course you're not going to bring it up. And he says, maybe if someday Xbox is doing better, I'll stay in the same swim lane, but for now, we're not. And Bishop came out right out and asked it, can you beat Sony this console generation? And Spencer's response, which kind of ends off the interview in a nice way, sort of. I mean, I don't think it actually ended the interview, but it sort of was the last thing. He says, I don't know. They have a huge lead and have a good product. Nothing in the interview really comes off as Spencer saying, well, here's our strategy for dealing with Sony.
It also, and this is one of the reasons why I like Phil Spencer, is it doesn't come off as sort of canned corporate talking points.
No, it doesn't. The fact that he pretty much admits that Sony's got them on the ropes to some degree with this console generation definitely, like, stands against that. Like, he's not, like, sugarcoating everything and moving in a direction if it's like, well, the Xbox, and blah, 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 blah. Like, he says, like, no, you're doing better than us right now. Which I like, actually. I like the honesty of it. I feel like a lot of people are going to criticize him for being so candid about it, maybe. But I take it the other way. I like that he's willing to just, like, say that.
Yeah.
Just say we're going to focus on our product, and if people like it, good.
Totally.
Yeah. But in other news, Sony won the console generation.
Yeah.
Microsoft gives up.
They won
Xbox
the console
gives up.
White flag.
Yeah. Watch Phil Spencer get fired next week.
Oh my god, that would be so sad.
That would be the worst.
But
I actually like this guy.
It doesn't make sense to do that for one really important reason, which is that when he came in, they had been doing poorly off of a very weak launch.
Yes.
And since he's been there,
They've been doing a lot better.
yeah, numbers have raised pretty steadily.
Yeah.
The problem was that the PlayStation 4 just had a very strong launch, and then their numbers have also raised steadily, so he was sort of starting with a disadvantage when he came in.
And it hasn't changed yet.
So, yeah,
Maybe
I mean,
it will?
it's one of those things where if they had brought him in prior to launching the X-Bone, maybe we wouldn't be calling it the X-Bone because it would have been launched properly.
Maybe.
And then the console war would probably be more of an open question, I think, for this generation.
No, people would still call it the X-Bone, because that funny document came out. It was like, do not refer to the Xbox One as the following. And then all these abbreviations like that.
Okay.
So people were like, oh, we're going to call it that.
Oh, totally.
One last little story. Nintendo might be developing a Twilight Princess HD.
It's a bit of a rumor.
It's a bit of a
But
rumor.
this is from... Oh god, was it from Eurogamer?
Yes.
Yeah, Eurogamer from a couple days ago.
Yep.
There's just some rumors flying around about how Twilight Princess might be getting an HD release for the Wii U.
Yeah, there was a shop icon for it, apparently.
So I think that would be cool, because I would love to see an HD version of that.
Some people think it's just going to be a port. Like, it's not going to be an HD release.
Oh, okay.
Fully.
I'd be cool with that. Whatever. I mean, I'd like it in HD, but...
Yeah. I mean, they've done the Wind Waker HD port that's super nice, so maybe that would be cool.
That'd be cool.
Still looking forward to that new Zelda game.
Yeah, when's that coming out? Who knows?
Maybe someday. We'll see. What's coming out?
Oh,
What's
there's a
actually
bunch of stuff coming out on the 20th.
Yeah,
Today,
there is.
Today, Yoshi's Woolly World is coming out for the Wii U.
Yeah.
Also, some FIFA game. Who cares?
Not FIFA. It's a World Rally car game.
Oh, it's FIA.
FIA.
World Rally Championship.
Jeez, don't even know it.
I still don't care. Dragon Ball Z Extreme Butoden. How do you pronounce that?
Butoden.
Oh, it is pronounced Butoden?
Yeah.
It doesn't sound right.
Butoden.
Oh, fine.
It's a long O sound, technically.
Okay. That's coming out for the 3DS.
There's
Also,
a Gravity Falls game on 3DS.
I didn't even know they were making a Gravity Falls game. It's probably not going to be good.
It's probably not going to be good.
It's too bad. On the other hand, the Gravity Falls show has been amazing.
It's been excellent.
So
Are you
good.
all caught up?
I am caught up.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about that later.
It's a good show. Watch that show. Watch Steven Universe as well.
Yeah.
If you like cartoons.
We're getting Life is Strange episode 5.
That's cool. Get that story ended.
Also, Rebel Galaxy is coming out on the 20th.
Yeah.
Which is
and the last episode of Tales from the Borderlands.
Vault.
Which is apparently really good.
Yeah, Vault of the Traveler.
Just Dance 2016.
The game we were all waiting for. Oh my god, I want to do a story on how much of a whimper that game releases too. That's what we're going to do next week. Because that, for those who don't recall, that's the game that was originally announced before the X-Bone got Phil Spencer. Yeah. So they were still really pushing the, what was it called?
The Kinect.
The Kinect. This generation's version of the Kinect.
I love that you actually couldn't remember what it was called. That's amazing.
They were pushing the Kinect really, really hard and all of its capabilities, and the big thing about Just Dance was that's what you use it with.
You just dance!
You just dance! And then the Kinect watches you dance.
It was a new Adventure Time game coming out, too.
Which probably won't be good, because none of them are.
The first one was, mediocre, right? The second one was supposed to be horrible.
Oh, Sword Coast Legends comes out the 20th. It's been delayed twice.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully it's actually coming out on the 20th.
And a week from now,
let me also point out
Fatal Frame game.
Oh, I didn't know there was going to be a new Fatal Frame.
Mm-hmm. People were surprised they were localizing it.
I will point out yesterday, on October 15th, the final version of Broforce came out. I was playing it today.
Is it good?
It's quite good. It's quite good.
So did Minecraft Story Mode Episode 1.
I've actually heard some good things about it, but the problem is that my sources are extremely biased because I listen to some podcasts and watch Twitch streams that have professional voice actors, and I think some of them are in that game.
So of course they're going to say
so. Yeah, so they're glowing about how great it is, but actually I've also read on some websites that it's a pretty fun Telltale game. So yeah. Patton Oswalt.
Patton Oswalt.
Everyone loves him.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Patton Oswalt. We're way over time, so it's been a treat, but it's time for us to go.
We have been Don't Copy That Floppy with your hosts Lex and Dan. We're on all sorts of social media, the whole fist of it. You can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Twitter, you can find us on Steam, you can find us on YouTube, and you can find us on iTunes. We have show archives of our show on both iTunes and the chipit.net website, so you can check those out, all those past episodes. And you can listen to us live on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on www.chipit.net.
Hooray! Well, is there anything else we need to say? No, you covered it all.
I think I covered it all.
I think you got it all.
I think you got it.
So, hope you enjoyed listening. And until next week,
don't copy that floppy.
Next week,
don't copy that floppy.
Next week.